this was my opportunity to get a rebirth because I was about to get evicted from the apartment because I paid my rent late 3 months. I was about to. They was going through this big audit at the school. I didn't know where the fuck everything was at, and everything was moved everywhere. My friends was living in my apartment. I'm like, what do y'all want? And we try to do this deal over here. And I was like, everybody trying to beat me. Everybody wants something from me. I said, fuck this. I know somewhere I can go. Y'all can't touch me at all.
Work?
Jail.
Oh. Welcome to, I don't even know where I'm looking at. Welcome to Protect the P. And today we're going to be talking about Protect the Process. And today I've got Dionne Webster Jr., my little brother. I think on a previous program I said there's 4 of us. There's Wendy, who I think is pretty smart. I think she's the smartest of all of us. Then there's little Donald. And this is little Donald. And he's very smart. Then there's Latoya, because my mother raised her on how to be taken care of by everybody. And that's some pretty powerful shit to be able to make that happen. Wouldn't you agree? And then I kind of look at myself as being the 4th, kind of the last one. And like I said, I am the attorney. But we're here. This is Protect the Process. And you were helping us with our process today.
Mm-hmm.
And you were trained in IT, and you've been trained in IT from the very beginning. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all about the process. IT is all about the process.
All about and how did I know that? Because you know how I knew that? Mm-hmm. You know how I knew to have the name of the show, Protect the Process? Because every morning I get up, I meditate,
mm-hmm.
I journal, I make my bed, I exercise,
mm-hmm.
okay? And I do some other things, I shower and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line, as I do those things, and something said, you know what, for every show, give it a theme, give it something. Because it's called Protect the P, there are many words that begin with P. And I said, our next one, Donald's coming on, and I'm going to call it Protect the Process.
Yeah.
And who knew you got here late, but that's okay because you went to Capoeira.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And bike riding.
You came in after 2:30, but the bottom line is you had to jump into action. And what was that action? Helping the team get the podcast process together.
That's true.
And I'm very grateful for you because I did not know. You don't know what you don't know.
No, but it's okay.
But I like to always figure it out.
Well, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know something.
I just need to know the people who know.
You would hope they know it too, but you just need to understand. You just need to know what you're trying to do, really. That's the key, right?
Well, you
got to know what the process is, because if you know the process, then you can understand where you go.
I need to have the people who want to understand the process, who want to get to know it.
I don't know. I don't know what people do. I know
they want to learn.
I don't know. I don't know what anyone wants to do but myself. I know that I have to be a person who can help people understand the process that I have to follow, and if they can't, they have to leave. I
think a lot of things that you've done has been pretty amazing. And I'm saying overcoming challenges. And we have overcome challenges, right? I've overcome a lot of challenges. I think a lot of the challenges were self-imposed, but I still was able to realize them and do something different. So with that being the case, I want you to tell your little story. Not your little story, but it is a little story.
It's too much to tell in a short period of time.
Okay, let me ask you some questions.
But yeah, because I would be writing a dissertation to tell about the wonderful journey it took for me to be where I'm at today on July 27, 2024. That would take all day. So I'd be a little bit more specific of the journey.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Because I've been on several journeys and several missions.
Okay,
this is re-identifications and rejuvenations, rebirths.
Yeah.
I think that's if I had to say anything about my journey, it's the fact that I was never afraid to redefine myself and add on to myself and actually put myself in very uncomfortable situations so that I could see what I was fucking made of. And that's what my mom taught me, was to go see what I was made of. And that's my journey. It's like any obstacle, I jump right at that shit. So when I get kicked out of school, when I go to
Okay. I know what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a word. And from that, first thing that comes to mind, but I want you to relate it to your journey.
Okay.
High school. You got 5 seconds to answer a question. You can't think about it that long. You like Latoya answering these questions.
No, it's not even that. It's just like reunion shit. That's what's about to happen this year.
College.
Failure.
Computer.
Lifestyle.
DUI.
Lesson.
California.
Blessing.
Nobody.
Shit, lesson again. Shit, you know.
Attorney.
You.
All right. Now keep in mind, you're going to answer these questions, but this is going towards explaining your journey.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Lilly.
Mentor.
Daddy.
Father.
Mommy.
Goddess.
Oh, she was a good lady.
She was my protector, but it's okay. We had a relationship where it was like, you know, we get switched over. She protected me, you know, then I had to become a protector of her. You know, I was her ride or die. That's what it was. We was together a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just different.
If there was anything you could do differently with mommy, what would you do?
Nothing really. I would have kept it the same.
I would have too. I really would have too.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the way she raised us, right? She raised us. So tell me a tough lesson she made you learn.
Oh, well, she kicked me out of the house.
Oh, she did that to all of us.
And like, this is like the first time where, you know, I went to college and she like, you know, I moved myself out. You know, she didn't help me at all. I had to pack all my stuff up. But when she put me out the house, she packed all of my shit up for me, threw it down the stairs. She helped me get out the house. She said, "You got a house to live in, get out of here." And I think it was I didn't take the trash out or something. And she was like, "Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!" And I was like, "Oh shit. This is the last time a woman ever gonna kick me out of a house." and I live by that. Like, that's the last time I'm ever gonna be kicked out of a house in my life. And that was it. And that was the lesson that she taught me, was to go make my life and go make it the way I want it to be. So I had to go start from where I was at. And I bought these houses, and I owned a house in Highland Park. And I just, you know, I kind of was homeless because I didn't want to live there, because I just didn't want to admit defeat, because I just got the DUI, lost every single thing I knew from the apartment downtown, had to redefine all myself. I'm at the peak of my business. I'm at the peak of my career. And then bam, everything gets pretty much stripped away. And I got to go to jail for a month.
Was that with me?
Yeah.
That's right, because you didn't want to do the...
Yeah, the tablet. So at the end of the whole month sentence, 4 days left, I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. I was on probation for 2 years, and I just quit everything. I actually...
No, that's when it was like, listen...
I violated my probation 14 times, 20 times.
He ain't for probation. Just let him go to jail.
Like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like, I just was sick of this shit. And it was more so like I didn't get no, like, I just was done. I guess this was a time where I got one of those rebirths, right? I just was fed up with everything. I had taken care of everybody, taking care of my friend, taking care of Ma, taking care of the house, taking care of the job, taking care of all this shit. And then nobody was taking care of me.
How old were you? I mean, you're still young. You're in your 20s.
I was 25, but I wasn't taking care of myself. So that means nobody was taking care of me if I wasn't taking care of myself.
That's very true.
And that was the lesson that I learned. So when I was able to go and say, fuck this probation, fuck these AA meetings, and, you know, just fuck this, I just was like, let me go get locked up and then end all of this stuff. Because it wasn't like I finished probation and get off my record.
Right.
So it was just like, you know, just fuck with me. This was my opportunity to get a rebirth, because I was about to get evicted from the apartment because I paid my rent late 3 months. They was going through this big audit at the school. I didn't know where the fuck everything was at, and everything was moved everywhere. My friends was living in my apartment. I'm like, what do y'all want? And we try to do this deal over here. And I was like, everybody trying to be me. Everybody wants something from me. I said, fuck this. I know somewhere I can go. Y'all can't touch me at all. Jail.
Oh, see, that's funny. That's funny that you took that as your break. And you talk about your rebirth. I think it's important that sometimes we all have to go through our rebirth.
Yeah.
Because I've gone through, it's to the point where I'll tell you something. I have no problem letting things go.
Right.
I have no problem. I just got back in town. I took clothes with me, and I was like, okay, I gotta drop weight. And I had no problem leaving certain things. Like, well, I'm done. And I had to learn that very early on, right? Very early on. I had to just let some things go. And I've had to learn a lot of lessons. And I remember once, I've done a lot of dumb shit. And one of the dumb things that I did, and this is as a grown woman, grown woman, married, I wanted to see if the man I was married to, if he loved me or cared for me. And I knew I was probably coming over. I was drinking a lot, and this was just some drunk shit. So he's standing there, and I was like, "Do you even love me? What's going on with you?" And I take these pills, and I take them, and this motherfucker just stood there. He stood there, and I was like, "What the fuck? He wants to see me dead." So then I go and I throw them all out. I throw them all up. I throw them up. And then, for whatever reason, I didn't have any food on my stomach. Something might have, I don't know what happened. I know I'm sick. I'm sick. And that little stunt, and I told him, before he was taking me to the hospital, I said, "No, just get me some charcoal. Just get me some charcoal." And I said, "Just go to the grocery store and get me a bag of charcoal, and I'll take some charcoal." Regular, like, briquettes, right? He's like, "I'm not doing it. You're going to the hospital." Go to the hospital. Anyways, that stunt cost me 4 days in a freaking psych ward. And the first night, I was there, and I just looked around, and I just stayed in the bed. I said, "Shit." Okay. The next day, I started to write. I said, "Okay, what do I want to accomplish?" Because maybe I got some time where I can just sit back and chill and just figure out. That third day, I was like, "How the fuck do you get out of here now?" Somebody said, "We do the puzzles and participate in group." I was like, "Here I go. Puzzles in group."
Right.
Now, why do I tell this story? Because I had a bill as a result of that. I subsequently paid the bill when I got out. Everything was fine. I found myself on a cruise ship to Japan. And my daughter's with me. And I'm sitting on this level of the cruise ship. And I'm doing a puzzle. My daughter's over there playing ping pong. I've got a drink in my hand. And I was like, yeah, this is the new improved psych ward. Because what? I'm doing my activities. I had my medicine. My daughter was safe. I got to relax, and I just needed time away and not to talk to anybody. And and that's why I take vacations, because it's so important to me. So you had to do it. You said, "Hey, I was in jail." Okay, I saw the psych ward. I was like, "Oh," and then I can tell. Sometimes I have to tell people, like, "Look, I had to sit down." I don't necessarily want to tell them where I had to sit down, but it's still some type of confinement.
Yeah.
Now, what I knew I didn't want. I didn't want to be sitting in there having to go to court. And they say, "Oh, everything was fine," because guess what? On that day, everything was not freaking fine.
Right.
Something was fucked up, because here I am trying to do some dumb shit for somebody who, at the end of the day, was all about my damn ego. That's what I found. So every time I've gotten into some type of situation, when I look back on it, it was all about my ego. I was mad about that marriage, but that was the best thing he could have done for me, was to let me go. Do you see what I'm saying? To divorce me, because I wouldn't have divorced, right?
Right.
Mom and Daddy stayed married. It's still married, right? It's still until she passed away. I would have stayed with it. But that was the best thing he could have done. But my ego was like, "How dare you? How dare you? Don't you know?"
Well, ain't nobody going to be where they don't want to be at.
Exactly.
Can't force them.
So you talked about your rebirth. That was one of my rebirths, okay? And every time I go on a vacation or go out of town, it's a rebirth. Because I swear to God, we just got back from Iceland, and that was a freaking rebirth. We went into Sky Lagoon. I can talk about that later. Give me another rebirth.
Right. Well, I mean,
that couldn't have been the changing. Well, that changed the tide.
Well, it's not even about having to change the tide. It's just that I've always been the same person. I just end up getting in certain situations where I have to rise to the occasion. So if you get in trouble, you eat your punishment, you live your life, and you learn how to. What can you take from a man that don't care what he has? So I've had nothing so many times that you can't ever threaten me with anything, because you can't take nothing from me, because I don't need anything.
That's true. That's true.
I have everything I need up here. So if you go, unless you're gonna kill me now, that's the only way you can take this.
Right. That's right. I agree with that.
So it's like, what can you do to me? Like,
right.
So that's what it taught me, to have gone to zero. So as I started to progress after these moments and found ways to become valuable, I start seeing that my value was becoming and going places and becoming valuable to what I'm doing, to find a way to help their process. So I made a name for myself by saying that Donald doesn't really need anything, but they could use what Donald's good at. So let me go help them. So I just started understanding that the journey for me is to help people get through their processes, because I'm so blessed, because I'm a man who doesn't need anything.
That's pretty deep. And you've already broken down what that truly means. And while you were talking, I was thinking about something. Someone asked me, they said, why'd you get your hair done? How do you pay your car note? I said, I don't have a car note.
Right.
I said, the bottom line, I make sure everybody in here gets paid. That's my job, is to make sure I follow through what I say I'm going to.
So you can pay, yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? That means I've probably made some sacrifices, meaning I don't have to have a brand new car with a car note. Right. That's not important to me.
Yeah.
That's not my flex.
It's not.
I can drive that car out there. I know I make sure she's clean every day.
Right.
Right? I keep gassing her. I get her the maintenance done. But that's not my flex. My flex is being able to take my daughter and educate her. My flex is to be able to provide for people's households.
Yeah.
To have a business that does bring in.
So what are they asking you these for? Because
that's a different story.
It seems like it's an irrelevant conversation that you shouldn't have it with people who care. Like, it's like I am very stickler on, if you're talking about me, I have nothing for you to talk to me about myself for, because I'm with me every day. If you want to talk about yourself, I'll listen to you. But there's nothing you can tell me, because I have a connection with the divine Most High. There's nothing you can say to me. I'm already won. I've won every battle. So for me to come crush you with my might is a waste of my might. It's a waste, because I'm coming down with the wrath of God, and I'm only using that for a true enemy, not an envious person who's making me feel better where I'm at because they're jealous. So that jealousy actually bigs me up, because if I come use that energy to crush you, then God can come use that same energy to come crush me, because I crushed somebody who was not deserving of the crush. So now he's going to be like, why are you using all this power I gave you to crush a fucking ant? I made you a god. Why are you going to crush an ant? I made you God already. So you going to crush a fucking ant? That motherfucker was about to get crushed no matter what. You could have walked away. You could always walk away because I made you God. So if I made you a God, that means you go fight other gods. You go fight the real battles that exist. Not the peon battles, not the ant battles. And that's what that means when I say I need nothing. It's like I'm only here to fight this certain battle, and y'all don't want this shit. You don't want no smoke with me. You don't want none of this shit, because I'm bringing wrath. So I need to walk away from most situations. And that's kind of how I approach it, because God said you're a God. You're a divine being. You have this innate aura to you, right? So if the ant got to live his life, it's going to be on its own process that's going to take itself and hold itself accountable for what it's doing. As you go and do God's good work, you got to keep doing God's good work. And that shit over there.
Oh, I know it.
I'm not talking about, this is for general, not for you.
No, what you're saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. I cannot get caught. I don't have time to go back and forth about something that I already know what I'm doing.
Yeah, your life is real. Your travel's real. The shit you've done is real. It exists already. So for people who that doesn't exist for, I mean, they got to go work to catch up. And you over there going back to go pick them up, doing sympathy. If you're doing that, that's sympathy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to crush them, keep moving fucking forward and crushing. If you want to crush somebody, crush ahead. Because if they behind you, you going back there. And
I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
I got to go back here to crush you. And it's like the crush is, I see my back in the race. Because we all in some race or some kind of, me personally, the buildup of these things come from my spirit of giving and loving, right? I've always had so much abundance that I will always give everything I had away. And people would just be like, why are you giving all your stuff away? Was because I'm blessed, so I'm going to get 10 times more. I'm going to continually get more. So I don't know when the next time this person is ever going to have this chance. And if it's up to me to give it to them, here. So I'm about to have 100 of these.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to have 10 million of these. I have infinite abundance. So the love and give, to me, is like where I start to evolve in as I get older. Like that's where it's not about really myself.
I completely understand. And the things that you're saying make a lot of sense, and they may go over some people's heads. But the nice thing about what we're doing here, it will be preserved.
Yeah.
Until the end of time. And just like you've got your people who give out nuggets along the way, and they write a book, they either give a talk, they do something, but they give out nuggets on how to journey, how to navigate this, what we call life. And the one thing that you'll find in most people, they're givers.
Yeah.
They're givers. Those that have, they're givers. And they want to. But those who also have, They're not gonna sit around and waddle in your. They're gonna tell you what you. Okay, I see your situation. I'm gonna tell you what I think you need to do. You can either do it or not, but I'm not gonna sit here and complain with you about it. I'm not gonna continue to go back and forth with something I've already told you because that's not my life.
Yeah, and it's
I'm telling you, do you want to get out of it? This is how to get out of it.
Yeah.
You want to stay in it? Then stay in it, but I'm not going to continue to stay in it with you. I cannot.
I don't go places with people at all.
What do you mean you don't go places with people?
Well, what I mean by that is I'm not going there with you. I'm not going to your waddling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm only going where I see winning is at. That's where I'm attracted to. So when I go places, I go with the wave, right? So I don't wave near that. That stuff doesn't like me. I'm too bright. That dark shit come around. I'm like, why are you so happy?
You know what?
Why are you smiling so much?
You may have got. I'm telling you, we clearly got it. I don't know if you noticed in my office. National Geographic did this shoot, and they were talking about the sun. And inside the National Geographic was this poster of the sun. And when I saw it, I was immediately attracted. I was like, "This is me!
Right.
I am the sun!" And I put it on my wall. Because I have a picture of the sun because I'm so bright, I could kill you.
Yeah.
But I also bring life.
You make life from being light.
I do.
It's
wonderful.
Life has dichotomies, and it's two sides to everything. You know, it's like if you want to protect your peace or protect your process or protect whatever P words you talk about.
Just protect it.
You got to just be a protected person. And honestly, holding ourselves accountable, not just for our actions, but for what we could do more of.
Yeah.
You think about it like, particularly, I binge watch TV, but I don't regularly watch anything. And what I mean by binge watching is I sacrifice sleep to watch the show.
Do you?
So I watch it in the middle of the night and I binge it, all of it.
Like what? What's the last thing you've binged?
I just watched Suits. So I did watch 3.5, 4 seasons of Suits. I'm about done watching it. But, I am such an adaptive person. I start taking on personalities of characters in these shows. So it's dangerous for me to watch drug movies. Because then I want to go fucking move keys and do all type of stuff and talk gangster. And it's like, I got to stop. That people they want a lifestyle they don't understand the cost. So yeah, they want to be Franklin Saint. Because they want that lifestyle that they don't understand the cost. See, they judge people off old money that's getting stuff inherited down to them for generations. And they saying, I should live like that. So they try to do a fast way to get like that. So they want what Franklin Saint thought that he wanted. But the way they went to go get it was they thought they can get out. They thought they could do it differently.
I don't think you can get out of it unless you change your mentality. I heard about the whole stories with the Chapo or whatever his name was. I mean, he got eventually.
I think that right now it's just not the technology makes it harder to play the game.
That game.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm not interested in that game because I don't want to play that cost for that game. Never been, and I don't even think I might have known people, but I didn't know if they were. I didn't know about because I was not the type of person that they would want to tell me.
Yeah.
What their business, if that was their business, they didn't tell me about it because.
Well, they really will only talk to the people in their business.
Right. So I never knew about it. So I was never really introduced to it. I've never had a friend who was a drug dealer. Is what I'm saying. Right. I've never had a friend who was a drug kingpin, and if they were, I didn't know it.
Right.
I didn't know. They didn't tell me about it at all. So I had no clue. Now I hate for somebody to come back and say it was me. I don't want to know. I do not want to know. I'm okay with that. I'm just looking dead in the camera, both of them. I don't want to know. Just live your life. Be free. Do what's best for you.
And your family.
And your family. That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge. I have no heaven or hell to put you in. I can guarantee that. I have no heaven or hell to put you in.